overnight. And then warming up into the mid-80s for Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Right now we have 65 in St. Peter's, Florissant, and downtown at the Arch. I'm Scott Jagow, KMOX News.
This is the Graybar Sports on a Sunday morning.
Goldschmidt swings and he hits a drive. He hits a slammer.
Graybar, your distributor for electrical and datacom needs.
Billikens win! Billikens win!
Now from the Stifel Financial Sports Studio, Tom Ackerman.
Coming to you from Ballpark Village today. Cardinals pregame begins at 12:20. This is Sports on a Sunday morning. The St. Louis tradition coming to you from Cardinals Nation Restaurant. This place will be busy again. One of the last Sundays of the year. They're going to be in San Diego next Sunday, and then the final game of the year will be right here in the regular season. Unfortunately, that's where it ends for the Cardinals, who are going to be out of the playoffs for the first time in a while. First losing season for them since 2007. Doesn't mean there isn't a lot to watch. The Cardinals do have a team that they have to be better in 2024. They're trying to put that together and evaluate who those players are going to be. One player who is not going to be on that team is Adam Wainwright. He retires at the end of this season, and tomorrow he's going for win number 200. Another reason to follow the Cardinals tomorrow to see if he can hit that historic mark. It's nice to see Phillies fans here in town. Was walking through Ballpark Village this morning, saw a bunch of them who made the pilgrimage to one of the great ballparks in America, Busch Stadium. They are taking it all in. Their team's good. They're real good. They won yesterday 6-1 over the Cardinals, a team that not only is shorthanded but just hasn't played good ball this season after rallying for wins over the Braves, Reds, and Orioles on the road, all three of them winning those series. They are not going to win this series against the Phillies. They will turn around and play tomorrow against the Brewers. We'll have it on KMOX with Wayno going for 200. The Cardinals with that loss yesterday, and we'll talk about it at length with Ollie Marmol, the Cardinals manager. He's going to join us in about 7 minutes. Coming to you from Ballpark Village on just a gorgeous, perfect weather day once again. We are having just these incredible runs of great weather. You know, and I thought about this yesterday with the fans heading to Columbia. You couldn't have a better day weather-wise for a football game in Columbia. The Cardinals play here. The Tigers play there. City is going to be playing here in downtown West on Wednesday, and things are looking up for two of those. City, the first-place team in MLS West, they have a 6-point lead now after a 1-1 draw last night against Houston. And the Missouri Tigers, folks, it's time to take Missouri seriously. They win over a top 15 team. Now, they didn't look pretty at times yesterday. There's no doubt that there were some miscues and they shot themselves in the foot, but so did K-State. And it's one of the reasons K-State lost the ball game. It's almost why Missouri blew a chance. Missouri actually had a delay of game penalty in the final seconds last night, pushed it 5 yards back, and a 61-yard field goal attempt. We've been playing it for you all morning. Harrison Mevis puts it through the uprights, and Missouri wins on a 61-yarder. It was the longest made field goal in SEC history. If you think about that, that's incredible in itself. But then they do win the game over Kansas State, and they move to 3-0. Now, the reason I keep bringing up downtown sports is there's another team that's going to be playing this week in downtown St. Louis at the Dome. No, it's not the Battlehawks. It's the University of Missouri. The Tigers are coming, and if you did not know that, you should know that by now, that Mizzou is playing on Saturday night, even better, a 6:30 kickoff that gives all those Tigers fans from Memphis and Mizzou, by the way, a chance to spend a little time putting back a few beverages and getting ready for a 6:30 kickoff downtown. That's going to be awesome and really a great scene for downtown St. Louis to have all the black and gold in town, but even better that they won. I mean, if they didn't win the game last night, I still think it's nice to have them, but I think you had to win it. You had to do it if you were Eli Drinkowitz. Enough of the almost, and they've had some good wins here and there, but they don't have an almost yesterday. They get the job done. They have a quarterback who's playing hurt. He's got a sprained knee, and that's Brady Cook, the St. Louisan. In fact, how many St. Louisans on this team? There are a whole bunch, but in prominent positions like Cook and his wideout, Luther Burden, there is no question that this is a team to be reckoned with in 2023. Now, they're going to have to go out and prove it these next couple games. They have two huge games coming up before LSU. This Memphis team is not a pushover. They're going to have to beat Memphis straight up. They cannot continue to make mistakes and expect to win ball games. But if they beat Memphis on Saturday and go to 4-0, they have Vanderbilt the following week. It is a winnable game. You cannot look too far ahead because LSU is coming to Columbia. But imagine the scene at Faurot Field. Now, you thought yesterday was good with a sold-out crowd, first one in the Drinkwitz era. Imagine that with LSU coming in and the Tigers of Missouri at 5-0 taking on the LSU Tigers. We'll see. I mean, I don't want to put too much in front of it, but I think you had to win this one. Not only for yourself, if you're Mizzou, and for your fans, but it's a great win for St. Louis and the St. Louis Sports Commission, who is putting on this game, Mizzou-Memphis, and making sure that it's a great atmosphere with a lot of people. Let's bring everybody downtown and check out the Tigers taking on the Memphis Tigers. I think it's going to be a heck of a time. I certainly will be in the house for that. Great win for Mizzou, 30-27 on the Mevis field goal. Illinois, not as fortunate. They lose to 7th-ranked Penn State. Penn State really just has their way with them and beats them like a drum, 30-13. Penn State was up 16-7 at the half, didn't look back and won this game, and actually covered the spread. I'll tell you, the team that didn't cover the spread was number 1 Georgia. They struggled against South Carolina. It was 14-3 South Carolina over the back-to-back national champions at halftime. But Georgia storms back in the third quarter. They scored 2 touchdowns. They take a 17-14 lead, and they win it by a count of 24-14 over South Carolina. The number 2 team in the nation is Michigan. They beat Bowling Green 31-6. Number 3, Florida State, struggled on the road at Boston College, but got the job done, 31-29. 4th-ranked team in the country is Texas. They had a bit of a sluggish start as well. They're up 10-7 at the half on Wyoming. They blitz them in the second half and win 31-10. After their great win over Alabama, there's no hangover there. They finished the job. 5th-ranked team in the country, this is interesting now to keep watching these teams, because in the top 25, sometimes on the West Coast you don't get to see them all. USC is really good. They're 3-0 as well, and they're now 1-0 in conference. Trojans, with the Heisman Trophy winner Caleb Williams, will continue to impress. So let's continue to follow what's going on there. Ohio State has looked good. There are a lot of teams that have impressed thus far, but for right now, I think you got to really feel like the team to watch in college football is Colorado. I don't know how many of you saw this late last night, but they looked like they were in serious trouble. I mean, they're down in this ball game 21-14 at the half. There's no scoring in the third quarter. It's crunch time for Deion Sanders' team, who really looked great in their first 2 games offensively. They lose Travis Hunter, who I think is the best player in college football, and they still win the game. Shedeur Sanders against the rival Colorado State. Colorado looked really bad early on. They come alive, and they win this game in double overtime, 43-35. Another great win, showing that they can do it with some problems, find a way to win. Colorado does that in double overtime over Colorado State. Next week, just incredible games across the board in top 25. Ole Miss is going to go to Alabama. You're going to have Ohio State visiting Notre Dame. Both of those teams are undefeated. I mentioned USC. They're going to go to Arizona State. There's someone to watch for sure. But it's going to be fun to watch it all shake out in college football. We're going to take a quick break. We'll talk about the NFL, about City, and, yes, about your St. Louis Cardinals. But next, we are going to visit with the manager of the Cardinals. Ollie Marmol is with us. This is Sports on a Sunday Morning, presented by Gray Bar from Cardinals Nation inside Ballpark Village.
Football is back, and so is Cash the Ticket. Jim Costa with Mike Valeni every week this fall. That's picks, parlays, and that's sweet, sweet value, Cactus included, on all the NFL and college football matchups. Full breakdowns on the biggest games, but if you have a life, you don't have 45 minutes to spare, we've got you. We're the most on-demand podcast. We're catered to you and the teams you love. That's Cash the Ticket. Listen on the Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Ah, fall is here. Baseball, beautiful weather, and the changing colors of trees and shrubs. When you think of your trees, call family-owned Gamma Tree Experts. Fall is a great time to prune and fertilize your valuable trees. Our staff of certified arborists will survey your trees to determine their needs. Knowledge and quality are hallmarks of our reputation. Call Gamma Tree Experts at 314-725-6159 or visit us at gammatree.com. Your trees deserve the best care.
Luke Combs here, and I have an exclusive opportunity for you to win $500,000 with the Living Lucky with Luke Combs lottery experience. Join me in Nashville for a private concert at the iconic Ryman Auditorium. One lucky winner will win $500,000 at the end of the show. Y'all feeling lucky? Enter today.
Enter your Living Lucky with Luke Combs scratchers tickets at molottery.com for a chance to win a private concert experience and a chance at $500,000. Play it forward with the Missouri Lottery and play responsibly.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely on advertisements.
St. Louis, thank you for choosing Under Law as STL Today's 2023 best law firm. Although our work has always been about you, we are proud yet humbled to be acknowledged by the community we serve and love. At Under Law, we will continue our mission to make a difference, one case at a time.
When you're injured, you need the best. Call Onder Law at 314 or 618-9000000.
Welcome back to the Gray Bar Sports on a Sunday morning.
Goldschmidt swings and he hits a drive. He hits a slammer.
Gray Bar, your distributor for electrical and datacom needs.
Billikens win! Billikens win!
Once again, from the Stifel Financial Sports Studio, Tom Ackerman.
Sports on a Sunday morning. We're at Cardinals Nation inside Ballpark Village. It is great to be along with you. Tom Ackerman with you. A lot to get into as we just talked a little college football. We do have City coming up. We've got the cities of St. Louis hosting Mizzou football on Saturday night, and we'll be joined by Will Franklin. He's on the way at 10:45. Next hour, Lutz Fan and Steel of City, John Mozeliak of the Cardinals with us live, and Hall of Famer Bernie Federko. It's a loaded show. As always, we begin with the manager of the Cardinals, Oliver Marmol, who joins us from his office inside Busch Stadium. How are you, Ollie?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Doing great. Cardinals playing today against the Phillies, and then the Brewers in tomorrow. What looks like could be a big, big day for Cardinals Nation. I know the fans will be amped up to see Wayno, but we'll get to that when we get to it. I wanted to review so far what we've seen in this series against the Phillies, and then we'll look back at some of your success on the road. But this series against the Phillies, I mean, they're a contender for a reason, and they threw Aaron Nola at you yesterday. And how did things look yesterday?
Yeah, we saw Nola game one and Suarez yesterday, and two really good arms. But outside of their rotation, what we saw coming out of their pen was real. They got some really good arms with velo, swing and miss stuff, and it's a tough at bat. We feel like did a decent job of getting guys on. Just haven't been able to cash in. We're leaving a lot of runners on, and in order to beat these good teams like we've been playing as of late, you got to be able to cash in there.
And Miles Michaelis has given you all he can this year. I know that he gets out there and tries to eat innings for you. They've got some sluggers over there, and Schwarber got him, didn't he?
Yeah, he did, and he filled up the zone. He's had a tough year. He's talked enough about it, and this will be an important off season. Even before taking this call, I mean, we're sitting here trying to do a deep dive and figure out what's next for him and how do we continue to improve upon his stuff. So it's been a tough year, but this will be a really, really important offseason for him.
Yeah, give us an idea. I mean, without obviously you don't need to go into detail, but like what are those post conversations like? So you sit down on a daily basis with a number of your players. With that last night's starting pitcher, how does that go?
Yeah, the rhythm of that is they usually come in and they immediately sit down with Dusty and our pitching department and review the previous game. There's a lot of work that goes into reviewing that game and being able to lay out what they did well, what they didn't do well, and areas of improvement. With Miles specifically, it's just a deep dive as to how do we get back to the Miles that we've seen, because he's a guy that usually just throws any pitch in any count. He's on the ground quite a bit and has had success for us. This year's gone a little differently. So we got to figure some stuff out for Miles, and it's our responsibility to do so, and we're going to do it together. But this will be an important offseason to tackle that.
You put Andre Palante in some big situations, and I know you were behind yesterday and you wanted him to gobble up a couple of innings, but he performed well. I mean, he gave up a scoreless couple of innings and just one run and struck out one. I know that you've expected him to be your pitch to contact guy. He's been important to you with your bullpen kind of thinned out here.
He has, and we're just trying to keep the score, give our offense a chance to come back yesterday. And Palante did a nice job. When you look at this lineup, he's been extremely successful against left-handed batters. They got kind of the lefty-righty all the way 1 through 9, so it gave him a chance to roll through and stay on the ground. And he was efficient in the first inning. I believe he threw 9 pitches, went back out, and did his job. So he was able to give us 2, and then Barnes came in. Gave up a run, but we were able to only use 2 relievers to get through that game and be fairly fresh going into today.
That's Jacob Barnes, who pitched yesterday for you, and you'll be throwing today Dakota Hudson as the Cardinals take on the Phillies at 1:15. Dak had it going pretty well in his last start, and then things turned around in that game. But overall, Dakota Hudson and what you've seen from him that shows some promise for 24, what have you seen?
Yeah, he's pounding the zone a lot more. And that's going to be important when you pitch to contact the way Dak does. The last thing you need is runners on and a lot of traffic because certain ground balls are going to be at people and certain ground balls are going to get through. But a couple walks before those base hits is what gets him in trouble. He's done a better job of that this year. But these are important outings for Dak and for Libby and for Thompson. You go down that list, Rom, because I've said it before and I'll repeat it. Like, we need to go into this offseason with a lot of clarity as to what we have and what we don't have. We have to make some smart moves in order to position ourselves to have success next year. And you want to make sure you have a true evaluation of what these guys are capable of doing. So every outing for Dak is very important.
Hudson today at 1:15, he'll throw the first pitch. Tomorrow, you get Adam Wainwright. He is listed as your starter. I'm assuming that is still a go, as everyone's been buzzing about him. I mean, that was a lot of fun. I told you as we had you on the air on Wednesday that it's the first time in a while that, and I pay attention to every game, of course, but that I was physically pacing back and forth. I mean, I wanted this, and I know you did too for Adam.
We all wanted it, and that's why we went in the order we went with Gio and Livy and all the way through Kane and Hells to be able to finish that game. But the whole time you're really wanting to keep that 1-run lead, add to it, just to get a little bit more comfortable. But everybody wanted to get 199 there. And at the end of that game, the clubhouse was really excited, and we're looking forward to be able to do this for him tomorrow and get number 200. So it'll be an exciting game. I know the fan base will be behind him, and we're looking forward to it, man. Yeah,
the fans find a way. They will make it magical for him, especially if they sense some momentum swinging his way. They'll make sure they try to will him to that. But it was so fun, wasn't it, to see him do it against Baltimore? I mean, it's not like he's –
It was.
That's a tough lineup that he's facing, a lineup that, by the way, has – the Rays breathing down their neck.
No doubt. I mean, that entire road trip, we faced some really good teams, good offense in the Braves, Cincy, and Baltimore. Those were some tough lineups to navigate. I felt like our guys did a really nice job on the pitching side of limiting as much damage as possible. But seeing Waino, the part that got everybody going is you see him walking off the mound after that double play and showing the emotion that he did. It just reminds you of the style of baseball and the enthusiasm behind what we normally do. And unfortunately, we haven't had enough of that this year, but it was a good reminder as to what this really feels like. So hopefully tomorrow will be another step in that direction.
Cardinals won against the Braves, the Reds, and the Orioles, taking 2 out of 3. They've dropped a couple here to the Phillies, and again, a 1:15 start. Ollie, on Friday, John Mozeliak, as the Cardinals were back in town, first time at Busch Stadium in a while, addressed the media. He's in the dugout, and he made it clear publicly that you are his manager for 2024. I think this is something that a lot of us assumed. Certainly a lot of us that pay attention to this team felt that was going to be the case anyway, but to hear it or to hear him say it to reporters, does that make a difference to you?
Yeah, it's meaningful. We've had several conversations as to what this looks like moving forward, specifically in 24. And there's a lot of work to be done, and I'm looking forward to that. Our staff is looking forward to that. There's a lot of trust within the front office and our staff, and then there's a lot of trust within our staff and the players. And we know what this looked like this year, and it's uncharacteristic for this organization and the history that this franchise has had for a very long time. And we don't take that lightly. We're responsible for it. and we'll take accountability for it. And at the end of the day, there's a lot of work to be done, but I'm looking forward to that work and make him to something that we can turn around immediately and not be a 2 to 3 year process. This fan base is itching to win, and they should expect to next year.
Appreciate that statement. And I know that you, as you sat here with me not long ago, you're your own worst critic. I mean, the manager of the team is going to get criticized. They all have from the beginning of time. But you know, and
they should. Like,
yeah,
Tom, that's just the reality. Like,
yep.
That's what comes with it. We don't win. I mean, you should be criticized, especially here in St. Louis. There's an expectation. I've known what that expectation is for a long time. I've contributed to it for a long time, and it's fair. So I'll wear it until we start winning, and that's what fans should expect.
That's what everybody wants, including Oliver Marmol, the manager of the club, who joins us every Sunday at 10:15. I'll miss these visits. I know maybe we'll catch up with you during the offseason a little bit here and there, but we still got a couple to go. But I appreciate these. It's always good to catch up with you and talk some ball and get an idea of what you're thinking going into a game. So thank you again.
No, you got it. Absolutely, Tom.
Ollie Marmol, Cardinals manager, with us on KMOX. It's a pleasure. When we get back, we're going to visit with the CEO of Stiefel, and that's Ron Krzyzewski. We're also going to hear from Will Franklin. He is with the University of Missouri alumni. He's also a great high school coaching mind in town, a great supporter of the university, and he's got to be the happiest guy on the planet right now because the Tigers just beat K-State, and they're all coming now. I got to think Mizzou fans are going to gobble up these tickets at the Dome. We're going to talk to him about that at 10:45. At 11:15, it's Lutz Pfannenstiel, sporting director, St. Louis City SC. They found a way to get a point last night. They evened things up with Houston 1-1, and that was the final in the 87th minute from Klaus. He's with us at 11:15. John Mozeliak, the Cardinals president of baseball operations, at 11:30. We'll talk to him about Ollie, about the coaching staff, about the pitching, and a lot of different things. He's agreed to join us again, as he always does, live at 11:30 on this show. 11:45, I can't wait to talk to my friend Bernie Federko, the Hall of Famer. We'll talk Blues hockey. Isn't it nice to say that? The Blues are about to start playing hockey. We'll get his thoughts on the team as they get set for the 2023-24 season, and a lot of festivities surrounding the team as well. They do a nice job of engaging their fan base. We'll talk to Bernie about all of that. Then we'll turn it over to Joe Pott at noon for Cardinals pregame. This is Sports on a Sunday Morning, the St. Louis Tradition, coming to you from Ballpark Village. They are just opening things up here at Cardinals Nation. This place will be packed as they get ready for a big Sunday game, so make sure you get in, get your table, grab a little brunch or lunch or beers or whatever you do on these Sunday mornings leading into Cardinal baseball. By the way, it's also NFL Week 2. We got a lot to discuss there with the Chiefs playing the Jaguars and a few other really hot games, I think, in the NFL today. So that's all coming. Sports on a Sunday morning on KMOX continues right after this.
For a limited time, First Community is offering an 18-month certificate of deposit that pays 5% annual percentage yield and a 12-month certificate that pays 4.25% annual percentage yield. Unlike some high-risk investments, CDs are fully insured to keep your savings safe, and a return on your investment is guaranteed. Requires a $500 minimum deposit to open. Call 1-800-767-8880 for terms and conditions. Federally insured up to $250,000 by NCUA.
A storm safety tip from Quiver River Electric Cooperative. While you can't predict which weather forecast will come true, you can plan ahead. So when severe weather strikes, you have the tools and resources to weather the storm. Shutter windows and securely close exterior doors. Fully charge all cell phones, laptops, and devices so you have maximum power if there's an outage. For more on severe weather safety, visit quiver.com or call 1-800-392-3709.
Scott, they're here. Who's here? Our newest delivery of carpet tile, luxury vinyl plank, luxury vinyl tiles, sheet vinyl, ceramic, hardwood, and laminate.
Of course, and we're fully stocked at both of our locations, 7301 North Lindbergh Boulevard in Hazelwood, Missouri, and 1851 West US Highway 50 in O'Fallon, Illinois.
Open 7 days a week.
Free financing for qualified purchasers. Best flooring, best selection, Best Buy Flooring.
KMOX Weekend at Your Service, sponsored by Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Installation.
Old Town Donuts has just been awarded the Most Treasured Business Award by the North County Chamber of Commerce. Get $2 off a dozen donuts, limit of 2, when you go to oldtowndonuts.com, show the coupon to redeem in Florissant and Cottleville.
Carol Daniel for Chesterfield Fence and Deck. Imagine what a new cedar fence will do to transform your backyard. Or maybe you need a retaining wall to shore up a hill or deal with erosion, or just add a trimmed look to a backyard space. Call and set up your free consultation with Chesterfield Fence and Deck. From a free in-home estimate to excellent customer service to their trained craftsmen, building your deck, fence, or sunroom will be an incredible experience. It was for us when they built our bronze aluminum fence. Still standing, still framing our backyard beautifully. You can learn more online at chesterfieldfence.com or give them a call at 636-532-4054. That's 636-532-4054 and have a consultant come to your house and create a free in-home estimate and free project design. Call in September, mention my name, Carol Daniel, and you get 20% off your next outdoor project. Chesterfield Fence and Deck, the sign you have the very best.
If you're thinking about doing a little home improvement, especially one that you don't have to do the installation, think about getting a Beam central vacuum system. It's the kind of home upgrade that really checks all the boxes, because when you compare and evaluate, a Beam system makes so much sense. There's a reason why nearly every high-end home in St. Louis is built with a Beam. A Beam vacuum system is very smart because it adds value to your home. Beam whole house vacuum system starts at just $11.99, including installation, and it's an investment, not just in your home, but in a healthy lifestyle. Every time you vacuum, you'll save time because a Beam is more efficient and 5 times stronger, so you'll clean better in less time. And since you're getting all the deep down dirt and grit, vacuuming with a Beam will keep your rugs and carpets looking brand new for many years to come. So you get value from your Beam system every day. Call Beam of St. Louis today. 314-567-1515 or online at beamstl.com.
Beam's home sale is starting early. Every system for every size home now on sale.
Welcome back to the Gray Bar Sports on a Sunday morning.
Goldschmidt swings and he hits a drive. He hits a slammer.
Gray Bar, your distributor for electrical and datacom needs.
Billikens win! Billikens win!
Once again, from the Stifel Financial Sports Studio, Tom Ackerman.
That's right, the Stifel Financial Sports Studio, and this is Ballpark Village. That's where we're coming to you from, as we have a bit of a cloudy, although sun was poking through a little earlier, morning here. It's going to be a great morning in downtown. Cardinals and the Phillies, and joining us is the CEO of Stifel. He's Ron Krzyzewski. He's with us on KMOX. How are you, Ron?
Good morning, Tom. I'm great. Good to talk to you.
Great to hear your voice. We had a great time yesterday at the Glennon Gallup. Cardinal Glennon Children's Hospital received all of those funds. That was a fun fundraiser out there in Defiance, wasn't it?
It really was. You know, it again just speaks to St. Louis, and when people get together to support a good cause, you can raise money for a good cause and you can have a good time, and that was both yesterday.
It's always great to hear you and what you do for the community, and I wanted to touch on something that is really important. Nick Ragone and his group at Ascension, they have put together some tournament, the Ascension Charity Classic, and I note that you were back at it again in the Legends Charity Challenge. How'd you do?
You know, Tom, the Legends, and, you know, there were like 5,000 people there. Hale Irwin, Nancy Lopez, Ruby, Ozzie Smith, Ott, Thomas, Pronger. I mean, these are real legends and great golfers, but I'll tell you what, Tom, I outplayed them all. I'm going to just tell you that. So they might even admit it this year.
Yeah. Well, they know that you're coming. I've seen you at work, so I know that, especially with the flat stick, you know how to drain those putts and make things happen. The real winner, of course, is the charities that Ascension benefits in St. Louis and in North County. And I know Stifel putting a lot towards that, and that's much appreciated, Ron. But I know that this is just what you do. I mean, when you find out that there's a good effort to contribute to, you do that.
Well, you know, I appreciate that, Tom. But really, credit goes here to Ascension first and foremost. And, you know, what a job Nick Ragone does getting the corporate community involved. I was looking at some of the numbers, and I really couldn't believe this. And it speaks to just St. Louis and how the people get behind events like this. And, let me just share some things if that's all right. And maybe you know this, but I was just looking, and 55,000 people in attendance. That's the highest on the Champions Tour. Highest. Think about that. And I think the Ascension Classic raised nearly $2 million, which is another record. But, to the corporate community led by Ascension and Worldwide and companies like that, there were 200 corporate sponsors. And I was just looking at my numbers I get sometimes. In the next highest event, there were 80 corporate sponsors. So, this is just great. North County, I think incremental revenue of $20 million for North County. These are all unbelievable numbers, and hats off to everyone who just did a great job on this Ascension Charity Classic. I'm proud to be part of the community.
Ron, you are a big part of the community. And, I've known you for a while, and you are a fellow Indiana University alum, my IU brother forever. I know that. But I will say this, you are from the state of Indiana. You grew up in Indiana, and you made your way to St. Louis early in your career. You have stayed. Ron, quite honestly, you could be anywhere you want in this country. You have maintained that St. Louis is your home. What is it about St. Louis and this community? And you can throw sports in there as well that keeps you involved.
First of all, I love sports. As you know, we're not only involved with the Ascension Charity Classic, but we like to have our names on the jerseys for both the Blues and the Cardinals. And St. Louis is such a great town, not only charitable endeavors, but a sports town. St. Louis is a little big town, is the way I like to describe it. You can get to a ball game this afternoon, be home in time for dinner, not have to be like in LA and go to Chavez Ravine where it takes 3 hours in and 4 hours out. That, Tom, you've been there. And St. Louis, everything about it, but mostly the people and the hearts of the people here that really get behind good causes. And so came here 27 years ago, never looked back, love it here.
We also partner on Guns and Hoses, and it's always wonderful to have your involvement in that great fundraiser for the Backstoppers, but the list goes on and on. But then, I note that over the last several years, expanding nationally, there's been more emphasis, I feel like, on your support of the U.S. ski team, and you've continued to support Michaela Schifrin and all the people that are involved in U.S. ski. I know you're a big skier, but how far does that go back, and what was your reasoning for getting involved with the national team?
Well, I've skied since I've been about 4 years old, so that's decades of skiing, and been involved with the U.S. ski team on their board for over 10 years. And of course, when talk sports here, Tom, let's talk about Michaela Schifrin. She is at this age, at 28 years old, she's already has more World Cup wins than anyone, man or woman, in the history of the sport. She has 88 World Cup wins. And she's just 28 years old. So she's going to be in town next week. We're doing a fundraiser for the U.S. ski team. I like supporting that effort. And then Guns and Hoses, have all your listeners need to come out the Wednesday before Thanksgiving. That is a great event and really almost no better cause than raising money for first responders. And that's a phenomenal event. I never miss that either.
No, I know that. And we will be back. Our telecast on Fox 2. We were nominated for another Emmy, so we're hoping to capture another one and see what happens in year 3, go for the trifecta. But Ron, we're really looking forward to that. And that I would grab tickets for that as soon as you can for Guns and Hoses, because those tickets go pretty quickly.
It sells out, as you know. So go get some tickets and come. It's on a Wednesday night. Bring some family, and then you can enjoy Thanksgiving the next day. But that's a tremendous event.
By the way, Michaela Schifrin, it's noted her World Cup wins, as you mentioned, 88 of them. She has finished on the podium 17 times at the Olympics and World Championships, 17 global medals, 2 golds, a silver at the Olympic Winter Games, 7 golds, 4 silvers, and 3 bronzes at World Championship events. That is just unbelievable.
Well, I'll give you another statistic. Think in individual sports, whether it's tennis or whatever it is. Okay, 35% of the time when Michaela starts, 35% of the time she wins.
Wow.
You know, if I have 35% winners in every stock I pick, I'd be pretty good. That's a joke. I do better than that, Tom.
Yeah, you can. That's right. That's right. Now in baseball, 35% is, you're a Hall of Famer. You're hitting 350. Isn't it?
Exactly.
Ron, you know baseball. I mean, you know the game. The thing about the Cardinals, and this is the first time that we've gone through this, but I know they're going to do everything they can to come back. But baseball is about how do you respond when things don't go well. It in its nature is a game of failure. So it's actually a good teacher for life. And that, you are a perfect example of that. A successful businessman, you didn't have it perfect all the way through. You had to learn from things that didn't go right, and then you built from it.
Well, I still don't have it perfect. And, it's been a tough market since the pandemic. And, I'll tell you, St. Louis is, I want to say, being here and calling it my home. But we are really, really, shall I say, spoiled with the success of the Cardinals year in and year out. I got here in 97, started with Mark McGuire, that great team in 2004, win the series in 6, win in 11, get to go to the World Series in 13. And, everyone's just used to a phenomenal team. And this year, a difficult year. But, I have no doubt the Cardinals are going to be back and are going to be back strong. This is an iconic baseball town, and the Cardinals are an iconic team. And we need sometimes we get a little spoiled by our own success. So this year, part of the process, but I have no doubt they'll be back.
I am ready for it in 24, already putting together my roster. So it should be fun to see what they do in the offseason. The chairman and CEO of Stiefel is Ron Krzyzewski. You are such a great sponsor of our radio station, and selfishly, thank you for this particular portion of our weekly programming on KMOX Sports on a Sunday morning, but all that you do throughout KMOX. I appreciate it. And in chatting with you yesterday at the event, we said, hey, let's talk about it on the air. So I'm really glad you accepted the invitation. It's great to have you on KMOX.
I love hearing that Stiefel theater or whatever you call it there, and so it was good to hear it. And Tom, good to see you yesterday. Thanks for having me on. And again, let's go back to what we started. Congratulations to the Ascension Charity Classic. What an effort to bring that to St. Louis, and what an event it was this year. So thanks, Tom, and I'll see you around. Maybe see you at the game today.
Yeah, absolutely, Ron. Thanks for the time. Ron Krzyzewski, CEO of Stiefel, with us on KMOX. Great to visit. When we come back, here we go. Will Franklin, he's going to be riled up and ready for Mizzou and Memphis at the Dome on Saturday. I wonder how many tickets they pushed over the last 24 hours. Oh, man. Don't miss out on that. Will Franklin back with us on KMOX.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely on advertisements.
The people have spoken. I want to thank you, St. Louis, for voting Onder Law 2023's best St. Louis law firm.
When you're injured, call Onder Law at 314 or 618-9000000.
Babe, you're doing your stress away deep breathing.
I'm proud of me and not stressed at all. In fact,
You're getting inspired because you're picturing your hero, Jerry Kelly, calming himself before the big game.
No, I'm becoming insanely hungry. I can smell your triple toasted ravioli.
Because Jerry Kelly came and cleaned our ducts.
Purged. A Jerry Kelly duct cleaning purges dust, allergens, and bacterial agents.
So what now?
Time to inhale some pasta.
JerryKelly.com. Make the Goodwill choice. Donate to Goodwill and help put people to work right here in St. Louis. And help yourself to a Lion's Choice famous roast beef sandwich. Clean out those closets and cabinets. Take your donations to Goodwill during the month of September, and you'll get a coupon for an original Lion's Choice roast beef sandwich, courtesy of Lion's Choice. Give hope. Give local. Give Goodwill. It's the right choice for Lion's Choice. Hurry, supplies are limited. Get details at mersgoodwill.org.
I can't tell you how dangerous it is to have flickering lights, faulty outlets, or outdated electrical systems. Reinhold Electric is your electrician. If you can hear my voice, you know they can take care of your home, your business, or industrial setting. Reinhold Electric services all over the Midwest, St. Louis and Southern Illinois. Also, Springfield, Missouri just came online. Lake of the Ozarks, Lake St. Louis, and Kansas City. 314-631-1158. Online, ReinholdElectric.com.
Mr. Clean, Mr. Clean. Of course I use Mr. Clean Magic Eraser to clean tough messes off my stovetop and bathtub. But then I discovered I can also use it to easily clean my patio furniture and even my shoes. I'm hooked.
And when wipes won't cut it, I use Magic Eraser Sheets. They're thin and flexible erasers, perfect for everyday messes, like gunk on my counters and sinks. They really are magical.
The reviews are in. Mr. Clean Magic Eraser and Sheets make cleaning look easy.
Hi, this is Carson Daly, inviting you to be part of Odyssey's mental health initiative, I'm Listening. As a dedicated mental health advocate, it is my great honor to again be hosting this awesome 2-hour special. We'll be joined by mental health experts, artists, and athletes, including Selena Gomez, Kelly Clarkson, Ed Sheeran, Thomas Rhett, SZA, Halsey, Richard Sherman, and your stories of hope and strength. Connect with us right here for I'm Listening.
This Thursday at 7 p.m. Sponsored by Compass Health Network. Now hiring.
Struggling to find common ground with a business? Everyone knows how difficult it can be to solve marketplace problems on your own. Wouldn't it be amazing if there was a way to resolve your dispute in days or weeks, not months or years? And wouldn't it be nice if this service was provided at no cost? Use Better Business Bureau Dispute Resolution. BBB works as a mediator to help you find a win-win. When you have a problem without a solution, choose BBB for dispute resolution.
Hey guys, Glover here, and I see clearly thanks to Doctors Birdie and Malhotra, and you can too. Go to youridoc.com today or call 314-966-5000.
Welcome back to the Gray Bar Sports on a Sunday morning.
Goldschmidt swings and he hits a drive. He hits a slammer.
Gray Bar, your distributor for electrical and datacom needs.
Billikens win! Billikens win!
Once again, from the Stifel Financial Sports Studio, Tom Ackerman.
Welcome back to the show. Coming to you from Busch Stadium, the Cardinals and the Philadelphia Phillies this afternoon, a 1:15 start. The lineup is out. Before we talk some football, here it is. Lars Nootbaar will lead off and play center field today. It'll be Paul Goldschmidt batting second, playing first base. Alec Burleson's the DH batting third. Nolan Arenado's in there today, playing third base and batting cleanup. Richie Palacios, everybody's asking about him. They love to see him, the man with the big smile and the thunder in his bat recently. He'll play left field and bat fifth. Jordan Walker is going to play right field today and bat sixth. Tommy Edmonds, your shortstop, batting seventh. Catcher is Andrew Kisner. He bats eighth, and Yuniel Caracudo is the second baseman. He came up recently. We saw him quite a bit in spring training when a lot of people were gone at the WBC, and I thought handled himself quite well. He's a good fielder. Caracudo is going to play second base and bat ninth. Dakota Hudson is the starting pitcher against the Phillies. They got some big bats in their lineup today. Schwarber, Turner, Harper, Bohm. Those are the first four hitters you got to face. Stott, Real Muto, Marsh, Castellanos. They're all in the lineup today as well. Taijuan Walker is the starting pitcher. All right. Let's listen to this. This is SEC Network. Yesterday, time winding down. A 5-yard delay of game penalty. What the heck? A 61-yard attempt by Harrison Mevis.
It is Brooks. Mevis kick on the way. It's good! There's a flag down.
There was a flag down. That flag, actually, as it turned out, was on K-State because they had two players on the field with the same number. You can't do that. That's illegal. Doesn't matter. Everyone's on the field at that point. They're going to wave it off anyway. Who cares? They decline it. They waive the penalty. It's over. The Missouri Tigers win this game by a final of 30-27 on a 61-yarder by Harrison Mevis. Coming to you from Cardinals Nation, Tom Ackerman, and joining us on the phone is Will Franklin, former Missouri wide receiver, NFL wide receiver, and a happy Tiger, aren't you, Will? Great to have you on KMOX.
Hey, good morning, man. I've lost my voice from yesterday, man. Good morning.
Where did you watch it from, Will? Where were you watching?
I watched it from the bar, Whiskey on Watson, my bar downtown St. Louis, man. Just I had to lock in and be in some privacy and be able to yell at the top of my lungs with all the excitement that we had going on yesterday.
I'm with you 100%. When it's a big game like that, and I want to be and I will be at the Dome on Saturday, and I would have loved to have been at Faurot Field if I could on Saturday, but we had other plans. But sometimes I just need to be in front of the TV. I got to hear what's going on, and I don't want any distractions. I could totally relate to that, Will.
That's exactly how I was. The board don't open at 5 p.m., so I had the board to myself and a couple of buddies of mine, and we were able to, hash it out and, have some very exciting moments throughout the day yesterday watching the game.
You and I were at a lunch last week at the Missouri Athletic Club, and we talked. In fact, I looked at you when I said this. I said, here's how you sell out the Dome or come close on Saturday. You beat K-State. And then you get Eli Drinkowitz up there talking about how he needs everyone to come to St. Louis and how it's time to believe in the Tigers. I think all of those things came through. Eli was emotional after that game, wasn't he, yesterday?
And that was a very emotional game. That was one of those games as a coach, as a player, that you dreamed of want to be in and have an outcome that these guys got yesterday. Up and down, battle from the start to the finish. And that's how you learn how to win. And the emotion that you see from coach and the players in themselves, this tells how hard these guys have been working, and they're saying right now something to prove is something that we all have to get behind right now. That was a very good win yesterday against a very talented and well-coached team, and you have to let them emotions out sometimes because you hear a lot of doubters, you hear a lot of people not really supporting you, and sometimes you have to come out and prove to them that we all worth supporting, we all worth getting behind, and these kids and their coaching staff deserve all the attention and love that they're going to get this week leading into this big game here in St. Louis. And I hope our Tigers in the black and golds come out victorious this Saturday.
Yeah, I agree with you. This is a big-time receiver here, Will Franklin, the former Missouri Tiger, the great Vashon product. I can't let another second expire without asking you about Luther Burden. I mean, to have a St. Louis kid showing not only emotion, but jaw-dropping talent, what he's able to do for this program. He does it again yesterday. What does this do for Eli Drinkowitz moving forward?
Oh, man, it is huge, especially coming home and having him play the way he was able to play and on such a big stage and letting the guy, especially all the St. Louis kids, come back home with a great win and momentum behind them. I said it once before, and I'm going to say it again. The Tigers are going to go in the SEC play 4-0, and them coming home with this 3-0 record with the momentum and a great player, Luther Bird, and let's not forget Brady Cook's play. We'll finally be able to see him to do the things that I've seen him being able to do from youth football to high school, and now Coach Moore has allowed him to throw the ball more, and you can see how well talented the group of receivers is this year. That's just such a huge win and such a motivating thing for the guys to take and use going into this week 4.
No doubt about it. There's a lot going on downtown on Saturday when the Tigers play at the Dome against the Memphis Tigers, but there is a lot happening in St. Louis with Mizzou. I feel it that there was a bit of a lull there for a while. Gary Pinkel had it rolling. He had yourself. He had Jeremy Macklin. I could go down the list of the St. Louis influence, and he was getting into the schools and homes. Not that Missouri isn't trying to do that, but I feel more of a connection with Eli Drinkowitz and St. Louis right now. Is that true? I mean, you would know as well as anybody.
Yes, he's doing a hell of a job, man. And and my next one that we would love to really see is Wingo commit to the guys, man. We get that and make sure we keep those St. Louis top products right down the road. It's going to do wonderful things to be able to fill both Faurot Field and whatever games we have here in St. Louis in the future with St. Louis community really supporting the Tigers because they see kids that, born and raised and watch as youth and all the way up to college, play in front of their families and friends.
Will, I feel like, speaking of family and friends, that one challenge the St. Louis kids are going to have on Saturday is making sure all tickets are distributed. Now, I think tickets are going to be flying here now. Now that they beat K-State, you're going to see that crowd start to increase. But what is it like? Take me back to when you played at the Dome. What was the excitement level for you playing in your hometown in that kind of an atmosphere?
Oh man, it's going to be an anxious week for the guys all week that are coming back home on one, how to deal with tickets, two, just knowing that I get a chance to do something that you dream of, man. All these kids are young enough to remember the days that St. Louis, the Tigers played in St. Louis versus Illinois, those series, and they can, now have a step on the next recruiting class of kids and understanding, like, man, I get a chance to play at home once a year or twice in my career at Mizzou every year. And for me, that was the most beautiful thing that you could see on the schedule. Is like, I get a chance to play at home in front of my friends and family. And you just play at a different level when you're able to play in front of a lot of people that you have known for a long time.
I know that there's a lot going on outside of the Dome before that. There's tailgating. There's even music at the National Blues Museum, which is right there. Look, we don't have an NFL team in this town, and we're not going to have one anytime soon. I strongly feel that this is the team. I mean, Illinois, I know that we have a third of our listening areas in Illinois, and they love the Illini. But Missouri has a chance to really grasp St. Louis and vice versa. I mean, this is an SEC team, as you mentioned, could be 4-0, maybe even 5-0 going into LSU, Will.
Yes. And we have to get behind and support and make sure that the kids can go out there and play at a high level, because they know the fans are filled with guys that are really cheering for them and truly believing in this motto that they have right now. And there's something to prove. And right now, we're trying to prove to Tiger Nation and to the entire college football platform that we have a well-coached team and a very talented team. We can go out there and compete against everyone. So this is just steps that, if Coach Drink and his staff can continue to keep the guys locked in and moving forward, who knows what this season can turn out to be for the guys.
Mizzou to the Lou. Mizzou and Memphis Saturday night at 6:30. What a kickoff time that is. Gives the fans a lot of time to prepare, if you know what I mean. It's Will Franklin. Thanks for being with us on KMOX. Really appreciate this, and let's see what happens on Saturday.
Go Tigers.
There he is, Will Franklin. I'm Tom Ackerman. We're at Busch Stadium. Cardinals and Phillies upcoming after our show, which ends at noon.
Jules on Hampton in St. Louis Hills is paying some of the highest prices on gold, silver, diamonds, semi-precious colored stones, and fine watches on site. Jules on Hampton is a premier jeweler with an exquisite selection of diamonds, semi-precious stone jewelry, and vintage watches. Their expert design team can restyle your jewelry to today's contemporary style. They also do jewelry and watch repair. Need extra cash? Jules on Hampton is paying some of the highest prices on gold, silver, diamonds, semi-precious colored stones, and fine watches. Bring in your collectibles and clocks, sports memorabilia, and figurines too. Jules on Hampton, 4506 Hampton, just 3 blocks south of Chippewa. Call them at 314-752-5000. Jules on Hampton.
Hey, Debbie Monterey here. Before you sell your home, you should know what it's worth in today's market. Call Gloria Liu. She'll tell you. With 20 plus years of experience, Gloria Liu with Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty has been successfully selling homes in your area for more money than the average agent. Gloria has multiple selling options that give you, the seller, the power of how and when your home is sold. A few of Gloria's options include bringing multiple cash offers from her substantial pool of investors, a zero commission program, and don't forget Gloria's guaranteed sale program. How can Gloria guarantee the sale of your home? Because Gloria's database of buyers is huge, and she's so confident that she can sell your home that she can put her own money where her mouth is. So just call Gloria today, your local St. Louis real estate expert, at 314-325-6888. 314-325-6888 or online at gloriahasthebuyers.com. Gloria and seller must agree on price and possession date.
Do you know the secret to losing up to 1 pound of fat every day? Hi, I'm Dr. Michael Glickert with St. Louis Weight Loss Secret, and I know the secret. My unique weight loss program makes it easy to lose weight, get healthy, and get your energy back naturally, safely, and effectively. If you'd love to lose unhealthy fat without counting points or calories, no exercising, no prepackaged meals, no HCG, no surgery, and no hypnosis, call my office now at 314 314-207-8600.
This is Debbie Monterey, and I can tell you, thanks to St. Louis Weight Loss Secret, it feels great. I lost 20 pounds in the first 30 days, and I've lost more than 30 pounds in 60 days. And you can do this. Real food that helps to speed up your metabolism. It is amazing to watch the pounds fall off.
Many patients lose 20 to 30 pounds in about a month. That's a half a pound to a pound per day. For your free private weight loss consultation, call 314-207-8600. That's 314-207-8600 or online at moweightloss.com.
Results may vary.
Is CBS News on the Hour, presented by Indeed.com.
I'm Christopher Cruz. The United Auto Workers say they'll continue to put pressure on the big three automakers until they meet their demands. Union President Sean Fain on CBS's Face the Nation.
They chose to wait till the last week to get down and start talking, to get serious about this, and that's where we are now. And if we don't get better offers and we don't get down and take care of the members' needs, then we're going to amp this thing up even more.
The strikers say they're determined to force the automakers to give them the raises they say they deserve. More from CBS's Chris Van Cleve.
I'm here for the long haul. If I have to be out here, rain, sleet, snow, thunderstorm, tornado, striking.
I don't think they're helping for the CEOs.
And they're getting the backing of high-profile Democrats. Pennsylvania Senator John Fetterman joined the picket line, while Vermont's Bernie Sanders headlined a huge rally just feet from the Detroit Auto Show.
It is totally reasonable for auto workers to finally receive a fair share of the record-breaking profits that their labor has produced.
There's a lot of bad news in the latest CBS News poll for President Biden.
It's the economy.
Nearly half of voters and most independents say they are worse off financially than before the COVID pandemic, far more than say better off. And this is not helping Biden. 3/4 of independents who feel they are financially worse off are backing Trump over Biden.
CBS News Deputy Director of Elections and Surveys, Jennifer DePinto, says age and health also top the list.
By almost 3-1, voters think only Trump and not Biden is physically healthy enough for the job of president.
Linda Kenyon, CBS News.
Former President Trump continues to blame China for COVID.
What happened to this world, not our country, the whole world, what happened with COVID. And it just shouldn't have happened. It shouldn't have happened. What China did to the world was so bad.
Trump spoke on NBC. Storm Lee, Atlantic Storm Lee, has moved out of Maine, but Pete Rogers of the Maine Emergency Management Agency says its effects are still being felt.
Please be mindful of possible debris in the road. Strong winds can cause debris from vegetation, buildings, and trash to blow into the roadway, creating hazards.
A 51-year-old man was killed in Searsport, Maine, when a tree fell on his car. The owner of a daycare center in the Bronx and a tenant living in the building have been arrested after a 1-year-old boy died and 3 others were sickened. The children were apparently exposed to fentanyl. The 3 who survived were revived by medics who administered doses of the overdose-reversing drug Narcan. This is CBS News.
When you think of hiring, think of Indeed. Their end-to-end hiring system helps you attract, interview, and hire candidates all in the same place. Visit Indeed.com/credit.
KMOX, KECK HD2, K254CR St. Louis.
Mid-America's most trusted source for news. KMOX.
At 11:03, we have mostly cloudy skies and 71 degrees downtown at the Arch. Good morning. I'm Scott Jagow. Our top story: in a TV interview this morning, former President Trump said he likes the concept of a female running mate. What do our KMOX political commentators say? Republican John Hancock says Trump might want a female VP candidate, but will anyone want the job?
You know, given the Mike Pence experience and several of the cabinet members over the course of his presidency, I don't know that there's a large field of people that would want to take that position, but you will see. And I think a female would be great.
Democrat Michael Kelly says it doesn't matter who his running mate is. Voters know Trump.
Every American, and for that matter, every human in the world knows who he is, how he behaves. He could put Mother Teresa as his running mate, and that's not going to change how some people feel about him.
Trump says he'll choose the best person, but that's a ways off because all he's focused on right now is winning. There's a strike looming. It's SSM, St. Louis University Hospital nurses. On Friday, they notified administration that their 24-hour strike will be Monday, September 25th.
Registered nurse Kelly Allen is in the step-down cardiac care unit at St. Louis University. She tells KMOX negotiations stalled over recruitment and retention.
Safety concerns that we've brought, and they have deteriorated. Management has not shown a willingness to discuss staff concerns to a point where we can move forward.
KMOX asked Allen if there's been any movement with management on SSM side.
Not that's been in a positive direction or would have a positive impact on recruitment and retention. Retention is one of the big things. We want to have core staff nurses.
The Nurses Negotiating Committee expects to go back to the bargaining table this week. Maria Aquina, KMOX News.
Since COVID's making a comeback, many might still have those self-test COVID kits. Should you use them? Dr. Fred Buckhold from SLU Care tells our health editor, Fred Bottomer, there's a chance the test might not be that reliable.
Getting that information is going to help, kind of change your management. So in your case, if you're at home, you think you have COVID, you're trying to figure out if you need to go to work or how long to quarantine, and you want to get another kit or two that are more current to help with that diagnosis, sure.
But he says there's still a lot of ambiguity with the home tests. He's pretty sure he had COVID a couple years ago, but never tested positive. Your weather forecast, high of 78 this afternoon. Overnight, we could have some fog. 78, lots of sun tomorrow. Then it warms up, almost summer-like temperatures midweek, mid-80s. Right now, it's 65 in St. Peters, 67 in Florissant. We have 71 downtown at the Arch. I'm Scott Jagow, KMOX News.
This is the Graybar Sports on a Sunday morning.
Goldschmidt swings and he hits a drive. He hits a slammer.
Graybar, your distributor for electrical and datacom needs.
Billikens win! Billikens win!
Now, from the Stifel Financial Sports Studio, Tom Ackerman.
Welcome back to Busch Stadium. Tom Ackerman with you. We are actually across the street, Cardinals Nation inside Ballpark Village, looking into Busch Stadium. Left field is where this is located, just beyond the left field wall. The Cardinals taking on the Phillies today, and very much looking forward to what's happening on Saturday at the Dome between Mizzou and Memphis. It's going to be pretty amazing. So it's great to catch up with Will Franklin after a phenomenal win for Mizzou yesterday, 30-27 on a 61-yard field goal to close it out. Really, really special to see the Mizzou fans excited and to see everybody anticipating some big things. I want to share with you something that is happening at the ballpark here today that is very meaningful. The Cardinals in every single season are as generous and big-hearted as an organization as you can imagine. And I was made aware of a young man named Lance Baldwin who just turned 10 in January. A year ago, he was diagnosed with stage 4 Ewing sarcoma cancer. He has 4 siblings, lives with his grandparents. He loves riding four-wheelers, playing video games, and he loves the St. Louis Cardinals. He has had multiple surgeries since he was diagnosed, months and months of chemotherapy and radiation. He has spent more time in a hospital room than he has at home. His grandparents, as I mentioned, take care of him and his siblings. He doesn't get to ride the four-wheeler anymore. Spends a lot of his time playing video games, watching the Cardinals, and he's been granted a make-a-wish. Couldn't decide if he should take his family to Disney World or a Cardinals game because he's never been to one. I went to the Cardinals, and I said, can you help him out? Because guess what Lance did? He picked Disney World. I don't blame him. So why not both? So I went to the Cardinals, and Lance it's been tough. I mean, Lance, the cancer has invaded his lungs. I know that he and his family approached me. I went to the Cardinals with this, and I mean, without hesitation, took them 2 seconds. They said, we'll take care of Lance and everybody and his family and friends. You got it. So as we speak right now, Lance is heading down to the field, and he's going to visit with the Cardinals. He's going to see the field, and he's going to take in a ball game today in downtown St. Louis, and we couldn't be happier to have Lance here at the ballpark today. It's 11:09. Downtown West is going to be hopping on Wednesday. They have themselves a game. LAFC is coming into town to take on St. Louis. We'll talk to Lutz Vandensteel, the sporting director, about it at 11:15. But first, with more soccer coverage here on KMOX, let's turn things over to Jen Cease with a very special guest.
Joined now by John Hackworth, assistant coach and director of coaching for St. Louis City SC. Hack, I hear is your nickname. Thank you for joining me.
Most people probably know me by Hack more than they know me by John. In my classes, in schools, yeah. So Hack was the go-to for sure.
Lest anybody forget, John Hackworth is not only involved with City's first team, you led St. Louis City 2 to the MLS Next Pro Championship in the inaugural season of 2022. Wanted to get your thoughts on City 1, City 2, and their seasons so far.
Well, I think it's pretty amazing that we're in our first year in the MLS, first place in the West, and we're not done yet. We feel like we're still not the best version of ourselves yet. If we can continue to get better, we feel good about our chances to hopefully finish first in the West and be in a great position for the playoffs. Our City 2 team, is on an incredible run. I believe they're 8 games unbeaten. If you just look at the wins versus losses, both teams are doing outstanding, but our club as a whole has been doing that since we started here. So we just want to keep that going.
Do you know what I find so interesting is not only in the way you speak, but also in the way Coach Carnell almost always mentions it, the word development. I think a lot of fans and some of us who have kids who play think that once you get to a pro, you have developed.
That's just one of our keys, is that we want everybody to have a growth mindset. It's simple to say, okay, I'm good at this. That's what I'm going to be good at. But it's more difficult to challenge yourself every day to say, how can I make this thing I'm good at get even better? And how can I make some of my weaknesses part of my strengths? If we do that individually, and most importantly, bring those individuals together, that we do it collectively, that's kind of what we're always going for here.
Is it hard to keep that growth mindset and idea for players who've kind of made it already?
I think it depends on the individual. Lutz has from day one, we've talked about the kind of player we wanted here, but at the same time, the kind of people. And so if you pick the right kind of people, getting them to understand that growth mindset is important, if you get them to believe that they can get better. We have so many guys in our locker room, they come to work every day and they want to get better. They push each other. They ask for extra. You're out there training a lot and the whistle blows for training to end. Nobody ever leaves the field.
They don't.
We're out there all the time. So I think that's just a reflection of what our players, what our staff tries to do on a daily basis.
I feel like that reflection is all the way up through the club, constantly new initiatives that City is taking. And the one that I wanted to ask you specifically about was the City Sprint, which is happening this Sunday, September 17th at 1:30, where you not only get to get some physical activity, but you also get a really overall view of the City Park campus.
Yeah, this is going to be pretty cool. We have a little running race here, putting it right around our campus. So we get to bring a bunch of our own initiatives together, and all those participants get a ticket into our City 2 game. We had 9,500 people at a game a few weeks back for City 2, which is amazing. That's a credit to our fans and the community of St. Louis as a whole. But in this particular Sunday, we're going to have a very healthy lifestyle event in terms of a road race. It's going to be around our campus. We're going to get to show off our training facility, our new front office building that's almost open. And then you do the whole thing around City Park. And then you go celebrate by watching one of our teams hopefully make the playoffs.
So a race with a view, whether you want to be recreational or competitive. Are you going to be one way or the other?
I'm going to try. Inside our staff, we have some competition going on. So Alex Longer and I always try to get a run in on the road. He's got 20 years to catch up to me, but we still race. Turner, or Hooch as we call him, our assistant equipment manager, he's always saying that he can be faster than Alex or I, which is never the case, but we let him talk a lot. And then Alex and I usually just show him when it's on the race day. Anybody's welcome. And we usually have a great little camaraderie and have good conversations at the start. And then it usually turns into a race at the end. So I would say in general, we're very competitive bunch, but we also like to have fun with it.
A culture of competition and fun. I love that. The St. Louis City Sprint at City Park Sunday, September 17th, 1:30. Not only do participants get to go 1 mile around the campus at your own speed, you get a t-shirt, a pitch side photo, a ticket into the Ultra Club to see the City 2 match, and an entry to win a signed City kit or 2 tickets to City's first team match on the 21st of October against Seattle. John, looking forward to hearing about the race and seeing if you beat Longer and Hooch.
I can tell you, I think Longer is definitely the favorite, but I'm thinking I'm going to beat Hooch pretty handily.
Wow, how about that? A little prediction for running. That's exciting. So that's all going on at 1:30 today over at City Park, and a chance to see City 2. And joining us, who's got an eye on all of that, is the sporting director of St. Louis City SC. They played to a 1-1 draw last night with Houston. That's Lutz Vandensteel as we continue our soccer coverage on KMOX. Good morning, Lutz. How are you? I do not hear Lutz, but I will say this as we establish connection with Lutz, that I did hear from Jeff Heskett, our great listener, who says he is barbecuing at the Arnold Days right now. And he said that it's great to listen in on Sports on a Sunday morning from Arnold. So we appreciate Jeff Heskett, a great listener of Sports on a Sunday morning. Drew, is Lutz with us right now?
He is.
All right, fantastic. Lutz, go right ahead. How are you doing? Good to hear you.
I'm very well. How are you?
Awesome. Well, I'm doing great. It's always good to see when City gets a point. Did you feel good about what you saw last night from your team?
Yeah, I felt very good, especially in the first half. I thought we played some really good football. I felt we had a certain control over the game. Despite not really creating the 100% percentages in the early stage. Unfortunately, conceding that goal just before halftime took a little bit of the momentum out. But then, I think in the second half it was maybe, I would say, we were a bit on the back foot for some time. Houston is good at home. We knew that they're winning most of the games at home, and then I think the goal we scored with not that long to go was a beautiful goal, number one, and definitely a very, very important goal.
There's no question. You can see the quality of Klaus and what he brings to this team as he scores and makes it a 1-1 final. You get the point, and you are still making your move towards the postseason and beyond this game against LA. You really can't look, can you? I mean, you got to stay as focused as ever. This LAFC team's pretty good, aren't they, coming in on Wednesday?
Yeah, we watched there was a later kickoff, LA Galaxy against LAFC yesterday. LAFC won 4-2, which gave them. They made 2 points up yesterday, and it really now becomes a massive game on Wednesday in City Park. You know, I call it a 6-pointer. It's not just that normal game. We are 6 points ahead, but obviously, if you can win this game, you create a big space again. If we lose it, then LA, we have them ride on our back, and then it becomes a dogfight. But in the end of the day, we know what they're good at. They're having a really tough schedule ahead. They're playing against the Mexican team next Wednesday. They're playing against Philadelphia right after our game on Saturday. So they have a tough schedule ahead, and it definitely is. I think it's a game worth watching.
No, I don't think there's any doubt that the crowd will be ready to go for you. You've been very good at home, and City will be taking on LAFC on Wednesday. You've been very good overall. When you travel around, Lutz, what do people around the league say about St. Louis and your team? I mean, I know that you are focused on being better every day, but have you received accolades from around the league? Are people patting SC on the back, City on the back about what you've done so far?
Yeah, I think most of the responses, of course, are pretty positive, and I think there is a certain respect is growing as well. I think people telling us that it was unexpected, and that so far, we definitely exceed the expectations everybody else had. For me, to be honest, it's we are 29 games into the season, so the big part is already gone. And we had this goal to be competitive. I think we definitely underlined that in a big way. So you do get definitely a very positive reaction. But that's the sunny side. But there is also the bad side. Is that if you're on top of the table, everybody's chasing you, everybody's hunting you, and everybody wants to beat you, then that doesn't make things any easier.
No question. We're joined by Lutz Vandensteel, sporting director, St. Louis City SC. I note that yesterday, Indiana Vasilov played left back. I don't believe he has ever done that before. And I'll talk to Bradley Carnell about that further, but tell us about having his speed at that position.
I mean, he's a lefty, a left footer, of course. Being 1-0 down, not that long to go. We needed to, I think, throw everything on the field with all attacking options available, which we did. I mean, if you looked at that goal, which was, I thought it was a beautiful goal. There was a great run by Torresson. I think there was this unbelievable good pass by Eddie Löwen, who split up the whole defense, and the high-speed run of Vasilev just to get there, but then also have the vision to cut it back, where another substitute, Thomas Ostrak, has a good finish, and the goalkeeper makes a world-class save. But luckily, Santa Claus was back in town, was right there at the right moment, at the right place, and finished it. Definitely for India, position he's not used to play, but he's just he's a complete player. He's an overall very well-educated player, so he can play on different positions, especially where he can use his strong left foot. And the cutback was outstanding, the run was outstanding. And I think we needed to push forward with all we had in that dying moment, and scoring that late, I think, always gives you a very good feeling jumping back onto the plane.
St. Louis City SC taking on Los Angeles FC, LAFC, coming to City Park on Wednesday night at 7:30. We'll have it for you on Y98 FM. Of course, KMOX following with all of the coverage, including Bradley Carnell. The coach will join me tomorrow morning at 9:35. Every Sunday at 11:15, Lutz Pfannenstiel jumps in, and it's always great to hear him. City with a 6-point lead on LAFC in the West right now, 7 points on Seattle and 8 points on Vancouver, with Houston, Real Salt Lake, and San Jose all at 40 points and 9 behind City. Lutz, great to have you. Thanks so much for joining us on this Sunday morning. Congrats on earning a point yesterday.
Thank you so much.
We'll take a quick break. We're going to be joined by John Mozeliak, Cardinals president of baseball operations, at the bottom of the hour at 11:30. When we come back, though, we'll take a look at a couple of other things that happened in sports yesterday and a peek at NFL Week 2. The Chiefs will be on. In fact, the pregame's on right now, 97.1 FM. Back in a moment.
The St. Louis Symphony Orchestra opens its 144th season with pure magic as world-renowned violinist Hilary Hahn returns to the SLSO after 21 years to perform Mendelssohn's Violin Concerto. Music director Stefan Deneuve then takes you on an enchanted journey through Mozart's The Magic Flute, Dukas' beloved Sorcerer's Apprentice, and more. September 23rd and 24th at Stiefel Theater. Tickets at slso.org.
When it's time to shop for your next pair of shoes, consider New Balance St. Louis. We have the largest selection of styles and sizes to help you find the perfect fit. See for yourself why New Balance is the most referred athletic brand by medical professionals. Our fit pros are extremely knowledgeable and take the time to understand your specific goals and activities. Customer service and selection makes all the difference when selecting a shoe store. Visit us in Creve Coeur, Richmond Heights, and Fairview Heights. New Balance St. Louis. Nationally known, locally owned.
I'm Brian Westbrook with Coalition Life. Over the past decade, Coalition Life has served thousands of women in crisis pregnancies, helping to save the lives of the children that they carry. Help us build a better community while also reducing or completely eliminating your Missouri taxes with a 70% tax credit. A $1,000 donation today to help these women could cost you as little as $141 out of pocket. Learn more at coalitionlife.com, coalitionlife.com. Thank you.
Carol Daniel for Chesterfield Fence and Deck. We knew we needed a bronze aluminum fence. Let me correct that. We wanted bronze, but we knew we needed an aluminum fence because that's what our HOA required. Plus, we have a swimming pool, so we wanted to enclose it. Enter Chesterfield Fence and Deck. From the free in-home estimate to the excellent customer service to the trained craftsmen, our experience was incredible, and yours will be too. They can build you a new deck or remodel the one you have. They can build a sunroom or a gorgeous pergola. They know there are many reasons for your projects. You may want to transform your backyard. You have grandkids you want to come over. You want a wooden fence for privacy. Call Chesterfield Fence and Deck. 636-532-4054. That's 636-532-4054. Mention my name, Carol Daniel, in the month of September, and guess what? You get 20% off your next outdoor project. You will also get a free in-home estimate and project design. Chesterfield Fence and Deck, the sign you have the very best.
Hi, I'm Jim Brennan, president of McKelvey Homes. Founded in 1898, McKelvey Homes is celebrating 125 years with our inventory home sale. Get $12,500 off of all our market homes. Move in quick, lock in your interest rate, and get all the popular features and colors selected by design professionals. And for every home sold, McKelvey Homes will donate $1,898 to Dravet Syndrome Foundation. Visit McKelveyHomes.com.
If you're thinking about doing a little home improvement, especially one that you don't have to do the installation, think about getting a Beam central vacuum system. It's the kind of home upgrade that really checks all the boxes, because when you compare and evaluate, a Beam system makes so much sense. There's a reason why nearly every high-end home in St. Louis is built with a Beam. A Beam vacuum system is very smart because it adds value to your home. Beam whole house vacuum system starts at just $11.99, including installation, and it's an investment not just in your home, but in a healthy lifestyle. Every time you vacuum, you'll save time because a Beam is more efficient and 5 times stronger, so you'll clean better in less time. And since you're getting all the deep down dirt and grit, vacuuming with a Beam will keep your rugs and carpets looking brand new for many years to come. So you get value from your Beam system every day. Call Beam of St. Louis today, 314-567-1515, or online at beamstl.com.
Beam's home sale is starting early. Every system for every size home now on sale.
Welcome back to the Gray Bar Sports on a Sunday morning.
Goldschmidt swings and he hits a drive. He hits a slammer.
Gray Bar, your distributor for electrical and datacom needs.
Billikens win! Billikens win!
Once again, from the Stifel Financial Sports Studio, Tom Ackerman.
I was just chatting with a Phillies fan here. He's giving me some Aaron Nola insight. That's interesting. The fan here with a Philly shirt and an Eagles hat, by the way. Congrats on a nice win for the Eagles on Thursday. But that Nola, maybe, some of his numbers, according to the fan who watches a lot of Phillies, Nola is dealing with an adjustment to the pitch clock. And perhaps he thinks that's why Nola's numbers aren't as good, that maybe that speeds him up a little bit and he's making an adjustment. Well, good. Then we'll catch him in year 2 of the pitch clock. See, I'm doing my scouting. I'm scouting Nola. I've been scouting Nola for a long time. Scouting Nola, scouting any pitcher that'll come this way. Cardinal baseball against the Phillies coming up in a matter of moments. Before we take a break and we talk to John Mozeliak, by the way, we won't talk about Aaron Nola to him because he will not talk about pending free agents or free agents for that matter. But we will ask him about pitching and some of the things that he's thinking about. Let me tell you about the NFL schedule real quick. Coming up at noon, Green Bay at Atlanta. I'll be interested to see what the Falcons do with their running back situation. Bijan Robinson, the star out of Texas, the rookie, didn't really get a lot of carries on the ground. In fact, Tyler Allgeier had more than him. So we'll see how they handle that, if they're going to do handoffs by committee or whatever the Falcons do there. The Raiders at Buffalo is an intriguing matchup. Raiders look good in their first game. Buffalo, I feel sorry for who plays the Bills. I think they were embarrassed by their performance against the Jets, and I think it's going to be a much different story today. Baltimore at Cincinnati, same thing. The Bengals are only a 3-point favorite in this one, but I'd beware Joe Burrow after he was knocked around by the Browns. He could be much, much better today. Seattle at Detroit, Chargers at Tennessee, Bears at Tampa Bay, Indianapolis at Houston. Those are the noon games, along with Kansas City at Jacksonville. The Chiefs visit the Jaguars. It'll be on 97.1 FM at noon. Mitch Holtis, Dane, and Hughes will have the call. Chiefs aren't going to go 0-2, are they? I'll tell you what, though. Doug Peterson's got that team going right now down in Jacksonville. Trevor Lawrence looks great. Number 1 pick for a reason. And I think this is a tough matchup for the Chiefs, who are 3-point favorites, by the way, down on the road. And they do start to get these big names back. That is going to help them immensely. The 3:05 games, Niners at Rams, which means it's a Niners home game. Giants at Arizona, 2 really bad teams. Jets at Dallas. The Jets begin the journey without Aaron Rodgers. Washington at Denver, and then the night game, Miami at New England. With Monday Night Football tomorrow, you've got New Orleans, Carolina, and Cleveland, Pittsburgh, which is an intriguing matchup because the Steelers were terrible last week against the 49ers, and Cleveland was great. So I wonder if Mike Tomlin can get that team to rally or not. We'll take a break. When we come back, Cardinals President of Baseball Operations, John Mozeliak, joins us live on Sports on a Sunday Morning, sponsored by Gray Bar.
KMOX Weekend at your service. Sponsored by Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Installation.
Manchester Coin and Jewelry is the estate buyers. They buy collectibles from vintage toy trains, musical instruments, military, and more. Located on Manchester Road west of 141, it's Manchester Coin and Jewelry.
While interest rates are skyrocketing everywhere else, Diamonds Direct comes to the rescue. Now for a limited time, get 0% interest for 5 years on anything and everything. Now through October 1st, you get Diamonds Direct's incredible value price and spread your payments over 5 years with an unheard of interest rate of 0.0%. Nothing's held back. Rings, earrings, pendants, bracelets. At a time when you need it most, Diamonds Direct steps up for the best offer in the nation. Don't miss it. Get details, showroom hours, and more at diamondsdirect.com. Diamonds Direct. Your love, our passion. On approved credit.
Next time your furnace or AC is on the fritz, you know what to do.
Call Jerry Kelly, because they're fast. And just by calling, we'll be helping to end Alzheimer's disease. That's what those purple vans are all about.
Yes, Jerry Kelly is friendly too. They give a portion of every job they do to Alzheimer's research and support services.
So call the Fix It Fast guys at Jerry Kelly. Ask for the purple van, and we'll all have it going on. Find out more at
jerrykelly.com.
Welcome back to the Gray Bar Sports on a Sunday morning.
Goldschmidt swings and he hits a drive. He hits a slammer.
Gray Bar, your distributor for electrical and datacom needs.
Billikens win! Billikens win!
Once again, from the Stifel Financial Sports Studio, Tom Ackerman.
Welcome back to Cardinals Nation inside Ballpark Village, leading you up to pregame. The Cardinals, Joe Pott will have it after the noon news. Cardinals play at 1:15 today against the Phillies. And they'll have Dakota Hudson on the hill at that time. Joining us live is the Cardinals president of baseball operations, John Mozeliak. It's always good to chat on these Sundays. Good morning, Mo. How are you?
I'm doing well. Good morning.
Good morning to you. This is Cardinals team, as we know, that has had some troubles this year to get through. But before we talk about this Philly series, I do want to recap, if you would, your feelings on winning 3 series in a row on the road. I mean, I heard you talk to the media a couple of days ago, and you said, well, a little too late, but a pretty good sign, isn't it, based on what you're trying to evaluate here moving forward? You beat the Braves, the Reds, and the Orioles.
Look, I think anytime you can find ways to win in this league is a good sign. I think when you're facing 3 clubs, 2 for sure going to the playoffs, 1's trying to, and doing it at their home ballparks is impressive, and doing it in different ways. In terms of you think about that Atlanta series, our offense was just explosive. You think about times where our bullpen became locked down. You think about some of the starting pitching we got along the way that helped us get there, and those are all normal ingredients for successful seasons. But unfortunately, that's a road trip and not an entire month. It's not an half season or a full season. So, I think like in decision making, as you look at these individual pieces of data, you don't want to like over evaluate them or overvalue them, I should say, and still allow us to sort of think through what we want to do this off season and what we need to do. But when I do look at, for example, like somebody like Zach Thompson, he's clearly reasserted himself as someone that's going to get real consideration for opportunities next year. You think about the year he had up until his return as a starter in this rotation, and you could argue it wasn't a great season, and now all of a sudden he is opening up a lot of eyes, and those types of things are super encouraging. I think the other thing you got to remind yourself of too is as our runway starts to shrink, meaning we have 2 weeks left in the season, you're going to see other players get some opportunities. You're also going to see players that just get to a point physically where they're no longer going to go forward. Like, for example, like when we put Tyler O'Neill on the IL today, that basically just wraps up his season. And so that's unfortunate because, when he came back after that original injury, we really wanted to give him a lot of playing time in the second half to see what he could do with it. And, unfortunately still missed ample amount of time. So, there's give and take when you create opportunity. And, for us right now from the evaluator side, and as really we go into that planning mode for strategic thinking for 2024, there's certainly some things we can gain from this last month, but I don't think we want to put too much weight on it or overvalue it in terms of what we really think we need to do to get better.
On that topic of outfielders, how do you encapsulate the season for Dylan Carlson? Because I know you had such high hopes for him in past years. It's been tough.
Yeah, I feel like the honest answer is I think both Dylan and T.O. Didn't have the years that we were hopeful of. You think back to last off season, you think back to as we entered spring training, here were two guys that we were, very optimistic with in terms of getting opportunity to play every day. Like if you had asked me like what our starting outfield would likely look like when we broke camp, I think it would have been T.O., Dylan, and Newt. I think the emergence of what we saw out of Jordan Walker was eye-opening in spring training, but it also was because we weren't seeing some performance out of other people. And, he basically won a spot on the club, and other guys, unfortunately didn't have the years they wanted to. And, I think that goes into, lessons learned, how you think about building rosters in the future. And I've always been about someone that tries to give somebody that we've drafted, developed sort of first right of refusal to do it. But, at some point you've got to make sure that you have the right depth to balance out some of the risks you're taking by creating opportunity.
As you get closer to the offseason, we all know that your goal is to acquire pitching, not just starters, but bullpen. This is something that you've been continuing to talk about. I did want to ask you about Miles Michaelis and your feelings just on what you've seen from him here lately and where you see him in 24. I mean, obviously he's written into your rotation, but yesterday I know it was a little frustrating for him.
Well, I would say, and I don't want to speak for him, but I think he would say like majority of the season has been frustrating. You go back to spring training, didn't get a lot of innings under his belt. Not sure he was where he needed to be to start the season. Unfortunately, I think that, created a few steps backwards instead of forward. And the one thing about baseball season is it's like sometimes when you don't get on track, it's hard to get on track. And I think for him, it was just, he never got to the point where, he felt like he was the dominant guy he's capable of being. And so the good news is our off season's coming soon. The good news is he can reset himself. I do think he knows what he needs to do to prepare himself for 2024. And, I am bullish he can get back to where he needs to be. He's certainly in tremendous shape. He's someone that understands the things he needs to do to get where he needs to be. And so hopefully he's able to take this off season, take a deep breath, but then get back to where he once was a big innings eater for the St. Louis Cardinals.
John Mozeliak with us live on KMOX. Back to the transaction that you just talked about. Tyler O'Neill on the IL and Juan Yepez called up. What has this year been like for Yepez? He was the one who hit the postseason home run against these Phillies last year.
Well, I imagine if you asked him, he would say disappointed, annoyed, felt like he probably didn't get the opportunity others that we've just discussed got. So he may feel like that's not fair. But I will say, like, when you go down to AAA, then you need to perform. You have to push the issue back to us. And I think for majority of his AAA season, he was sub 700 OPS. I would say in the last 30 days, he's started to swing the bat a lot better. But when you're an offensive player, you've got to go down and hit, and then you've got to force our hand. And it's something that I think a lot of times when guys get the taste of the big leagues and then they find themselves back in AAA, a lot of times it can be a bit of a pity party or a frustration type thing where they just don't feel it's fair. But when you look at the history of this game and how we utilize the minor league system, it really does. Decision making is really about development and performance. And so, ultimately, that's what forces your hand. clearly an injury created some opportunity for the last 2 weeks, and hopefully he can make the most of it when he gets a chance.
Players have to perform, and it's Ollie Marmol's job to put them in that position in the lineup, in the batting order. And John, you said publicly over the last few days, it was Friday, that he has a job for 2024. Well, he is under contract, but you made it clear. It's something that I think was assumed, but also that was talked about amongst us, internally when it comes to media and fans. And I think it was assumed, but the fact that it was said, I would ask you, what is it about Oliver Marmol that does make you feel like he is the right man, aside from the fact that he is, of course, indeed signed?
Well, I think a lot of things, really. Maybe the question is just like, well, why do we have confidence in him getting us back to where we need to be? I mean, first off, last year he was, probably getting manager of the year vote. So it's like you don't just fall off a cliff and that sort of thing. I think when you look back at 2023, there'll be a time for a lot of finger pointing and probably in the public arena it's already started. And I think all of us that are involved in the day-to-day of this organization and the decision-making of this organization share in the blame of where we are and why we are where we are. And so I don't think anybody's running from it, but to not bring Ollie back would almost be like me simply just placing the blame on him. And that would not be fair. He's a young, bright, energetic manager. He is someone who I think understands the more modern game. I think he relates very well with players. I mean, obviously, along a 162 game season, there's going to be times where a manager and player don't see eye to eye, but that's okay. That happens. I think for the most part, he's very, very well respected down there. I think his coaches like working for him. I think they have his back. I think from an organizational standpoint, people admire what he's been able to do in such a fast way. So, again, I think there's a lot of reasons why we will entrust him with this position. I think we will also all agree that when we think about 2024, it's vitally important for us to get back to finding ways to win and get back to being successful, because no one's going to give us a mulligan forever. And we understand that this year happened. We want to learn from it. We want to try to correct our mistakes and see what we can do differently. But most importantly, we understand the pressure of 2024.
John Mozeliak, Cardinals President of Baseball Operations, thank you very much for this. We appreciate it, and have a great day at the ballpark. We'll catch up with you real soon.
That sounds good, Tommy. Thank you.
There is John Mozeliak. We're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, Hall of Famer Bernie Federko. He joins us live at 11:45 to talk some Blues hockey. I'm kind of fired up for the Blues season. I don't know how good they're going to be, but I'm just excited to see them and see what pieces they have in place and if they can make some tweaks and adjustments and make a run. Talk to Bernie about it next on Sports on a Sunday Morning, live from Cardinals Nation inside Ballpark Village. We're sponsored by Gray Bar.
Broadcasting from the Underline Three Lawyers, GetJim.com studios.
KMOX.
Andrea, what are you doing up there on the Best Buy flooring sign?
Scott, I'm letting contractors know that we have the best flooring.
Come down from there because they need to come in and see our huge selection of carpet, carpet tile, luxury vinyl plank, luxury vinyl tile, sheet vinyl, laminate, hardwood, and ceramic tile in person.
Yes, we will not be undersold. Come see us at our two locations, 7301 North Lindbergh Boulevard in Hazelwood, Missouri, and 1851 West US Highway 50 in O'Fallon, Illinois. Open 7 days a week. Best flooring, best selection, Best Buy Flooring.
Wednesday, September 20th. Come kick it with KMOX at St. Louis Union Station and celebrate the home game of St. Louis City SC. The pregame pep rally will take place at the Purina Performance Plaza, featuring live entertainment, soccer-themed games, Union Station attraction giveaways, and much more. Afterwards, get closer to the game and visit the pitch at STL Union Station as City SC takes on Los Angeles FC. The pep rally begins at 4 and the game starts at 7:30. Now, Y98 presents 90 and 60, a look back at the St. Louis City match against the Houston Dynamo. Presented by Ponce Health Sciences University, creating new pathways and careers in healthcare.
Fossey weaves it through, gets passed back deep, can't handle it, now he chips the ball, that's headed home. Houston builds a 1-0 lead. Dorsey down the right side of the box, angles across in the air. It's headed back toward the spot. Now the top of the box, Fossey is shot, and Roman Perky, huge diamond save. Moving forward, pokes it past through into the box. It's centered, and Clark does something huge save, but it's headed home. Oh, baby! Joel Close ties it! City salvages a draw in Houston tonight.
This has been 90 and 60, presented by Ponce Health Sciences University. Up next, St. Louis City returns to City Park Wednesday night to face LAFC. To get the Credit Union pregame at 7, kick at 7:30 on your home for St. Louis City Soccer, Y98.
Aspiring to be a doctor? Didn't score well on the MCAT? Gain all the confidence you need to succeed at Ponce Health Sciences University. PHSU west of City Park on the corner of Jefferson and Market prepares students for every aspect of a medical career. A Master of Sciences in Medical Science degree and MSMS from Ponce prepares students for the coursework, the time commitment, and the rigor for a future in healthcare. Learn more at stlouis.psm.edu. That's stlouis.psm.edu.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely on advertisements.
The verdict is in. STL Today is named under law 2023's best St. Louis law firm. Thank you, St. Louis, and we vow to continue our mission to not only deliver exceptional results, but to change the way companies do business and make St. Louis a safer place, one case at a time.
When you're injured, you need the best. Call Onder Law at 314 or 618-90000.
While interest rates are skyrocketing everywhere else, Diamonds Direct comes to the rescue. Now for a limited time, get 0% interest for 5 years on anything and everything. Now through October 1st, you get Diamonds Direct's incredible value price and spread your payments over 5 years with an unheard of interest rate of 0.0%. Nothing's held back. Rings, earrings, pendants, bracelets. At a time when you need it most, Diamonds Direct steps up with the best offer in the nation. Don't miss it. Get details, showroom hours, and more at diamondsdirect.com. Diamonds Direct. Your love, our passion. On approved credit.
Welcome back to the Gray Bar Sports on a Sunday morning.
Goldschmidt swings and he hits a drive. He hits a slammer.
Gray Bar, your distributor for electrical and datacom needs.
Billikens win! Billikens win!
Once again, from the Stifel Financial Sports Studio, Tom Ackerman.
Welcome back to Cardinals Nation inside Ballpark Village. Cardinal baseball coming your way at 1:15 against the Phillies. Joe Pott has the pregame show after the noon news. It is hockey season, and it's exciting to have the Blues back. They will be back in short order, and joining us on the line is one of my all-time favorite people in the game. Hall of Famer Bernie Federko is with us back on KMOX. How are you, Bernie?
Good morning, Tom. I'm doing great, thanks.
It's great to hear your voice. You and I did hockey radio from Turvey's on the Green, 25 years ago. We go back that far. Remember those days?
I do. Those were a lot of fun days, and you know what? Times have changed quickly, but we had a lot of great guests on. We had a lot of fun during that show.
We sure did, and hockey has maintained a great following through those years, even through the ups and downs. The fans have been loyal as can be. You won't find a more loyal fan base than the St. Louis Blues fans. What will they see this year? And prospect camp has already begun, but let's start with this. What kind of a team do you think the Blues will be putting out there this year in 23-24?
I believe, Tom, that this team is going to be, I think, a lot better than what people are kind of previewing them. I think there's a lot of players on this team, especially the defensive crew, that really kind of had off years last year. And it's hard to have 4 or 5 guys all have kind of bad years, but I think it kind of happened last year. And I think that the guys have got an awful lot of pride, and I think that they will bounce back with a much stronger year this year. I mean, I think that right now we have a changing of the guard. I think this is clearly going to be Robert Thomas and Jordan Kyrie's team now. With no more Ryan O'Reilly, with the changes that Doug made over the course of last year, this team is theirs now, and there's certainly still a lot of good leadership on this team. Guys like Braden Shen, of course, and bringing in Hayes now. So I'm excited about it. I always look at it, Tom. When you've got a goaltender like Jordan Binnington, you've got a chance each and every night, and I think that this team has got a lot of pride. I think they were obviously very disappointed with the way things went last year. I don't think that they wanted to have such a long summer, and I think they're chomping at the bit, and they certainly want to get back.
I think that's a great point to be made, and in particular, the growth of Kyrou and Thomas. I very much look forward to them working and trying to be better. Where do you see them in this stage of their game in the league?
Well, they know now the pressure's on them. I mean, they're going to the first year of a long-term, really high payroll job. They know what their jobs entails, and they really have to get everybody to kind of follow suit. So I'm excited to see how they're going to respond. I mean, obviously, I think they both had really good years last year. Of course, Kyrou scored a bunch of goals. I think Robbie kind of showed what he could do, led the Blues and with the forwards with ice time, and I think he has really, from what I understand, has had a great offseason getting ready for this season. I hear he's in great shape. He's excited about taking the next step, and I think that both of them have to take the next step because I think we all are very disappointed. I mean, we were also excited that we get to see such great hockey. I mean, winning the Stanley Cup back in 2019, and kind of it's been a slow digression over the course of the last few years now, and there's been changing of the guard now. So I think they understand what they have to do, and I'm excited about what they're going to get done.
Yeah, I'm with you. This is Bernie Federko, the Hall of Famer, with us on KMOX. There's no doubt that the Blues have some talent at those positions, and certainly looking forward to seeing Kevin Hayes. And by the way, the Blues just signed Nick Ritchie to a professional tryout. He's a big bruiser. I mean, he'll beat you up, and I think that's intriguing too. But Hayes, it could be a change of scenery thing for him. I mean, this is a player who can play at a very high level, can he? I think just maybe his time ran out in Philadelphia.
Yeah, I think so. You know what, Tom? He was a first-round draft pick, so I think he still has a lot to prove. Things didn't go well for him the last year in Philadelphia, and I think there was more of a kind of maybe a personality conflict with the coach there. So I think he's excited about coming in. He brings size, and I think that's what this Blues team has to get back to. I think we go back to 2019, and it was really so much more of a grinding team, and I think that's kind of why the Blues were able to win. No one wanted to play against them, and over the course of the last couple of years, maybe they've not played that style of hockey, and I think they have to go back to that. And with you saying there with Ritchie, a guy like Ritchie, if he does make the team, Hayes, there's a lot of big guys that can, Sundqvist being back now, guys like Braden Shen, they can play that real physical game, and teams hate to play against that style of hockey, and I think that's what I think Craig Berube would like to get back to that style, and I think that's what we're probably going to see this year.
Blues prospect camp opened on Thursday. Games in St. Paul at the Wild's practice rink against the Wild on Friday and the Blackhawks yesterday. Oh, my goodness. I saw the video already of Connor Bedard. Holy smokes. What a player he is. Had a hat trick yesterday against the Blues, Bernie.
Yeah, it's pretty impressive. I mean, I've heard nothing but great things about him. I mean, he's once in a 10 or 12-year guy that comes out, and he's only 18 years old, which is amazing, and what he's already done. But it's going to be a trying year for him, though, and I think it's going to be a trying year for the Hawks. They're in transition right now, and, of course, Bedard's going to have a lot of pressure on him, but I think he proved playing against, other prospects that he's one of the best. I mean, scoring the 3 goals last night, had an assist as well. So he's been, I guess, well documented, and I guess he proves what he's talking. He put the punch back into that last night. So we'll see how that goes. But, I mean, I'm excited about watching him. I love the fact that Chicago and Bedard are in Blues division, so we'll get to see them 4 times, and I think that's exciting. But I think that the Blues all understand what they have to do, and I think there's a lot of teams that are improving, and the Blues have got to improve with it.
First game of the regular season is October 12th in Dallas. Home opener October 14th against Vince Dunn, Jaden Schwartz, and the Seattle Kraken. But training camp opens on the 21st. Now, there have been a lot of players already skating. They're all over Centene. They've been skating together. 30-plus Blues players really have been kind of on their own at Centene since the start of this month. But that first day of training camp is great, isn't it, Bernie? Centene Community Ice Center, 9:30 to about 1. Blues fans are encouraged to come out on the 22nd as well to Maryland Heights and catch the first Blues action of the new season. That's pretty neat.
It is, Tom, and the fans always respond to that. And I've run into so many fans over the course of the last even couple of weeks now. Everybody's so excited about Blues hockey coming back. And, yeah, the guys have been skating. I mean, this is a different era now. I mean, the guys are in such great shape. I mean, they've already got a preseason game coming up on Saturday. So that's how things happen so quickly. But the guys are ready. They've been skating. They know what they need to do. And right off the bat, you got to try to impress the coaches. You got to battle for your ice time. And I think that every one of them is going to be doing that. So it's nice to see always the response. I mean, the stands are always full over at Centene during the first couple of days of camp. So I look forward to seeing that as well on Thursday and Friday.
Absolutely. I love that the NHL does that the teams start training camp and then they play a game 2 days later. That first preseason game, September 23rd, Saturday at 2 at Enterprise Center against the Arizona Coyotes. Actually, if you're coming in town for the Mizzou game, you could make it a 2-for-1 because you could go to the Blues game at 2, head down to the Dome for the 6:30 kickoff against Memphis. That sounds like a pretty good day. But in between there, Blues and Brews. It's on September 22nd. A great opportunity to return of the hockey season with some of the Blues' top players. There's going to be music from St. Louis and Marquise Knox, country star Chris Lane. This is a partnership with Anheuser-Busch and Bud Light. And what a great thing. This is happening at Enterprise Center on Friday at 6 o'clock, Bernie.
It really is. I mean, I think this is really special, something that the Blues have never done. The brewery has always been so great. Anheuser-Busch has been so great to the Blues and to the city of St. Louis. And to be going down to the brewery on Friday, there's going to be a bunch of the players are going to be out there. A bunch of our alumni will be out there as well. So just a fun time to listen to some great music and also to be able to talk hockey. And I think everybody has been tired of not being able to talk hockey over the course of the summer. So a lot of people, a lot of fans will be around, and I think it'll be just an absolutely great event.
I am with you on that. It's going to be a lot of fun. And then the Blues, as I mentioned, get rolling in October as they take on Dallas and then Seattle for the home opener on October 14th. Bernie Federko, it is always a treat to catch up with you. You are a class act. Anytime that I see you at an event supporting things, it brings a big smile because when it comes to names here in St. Louis who have contributed to the growth of sports in this area, your name is right among the top of that list, and I appreciate you. Thank you for doing this.
Hey, Tom, thanks so much. Always a pleasure to be on with you, and it's always a pleasure to be a part of St. Louis. This is home, and I can hardly wait for Blues hockey to get going, and hopefully we'll have a real turnaround, and hopefully we'll be seeing some Stanley Cup action later on the year.
I'll be in the house, that's for sure. Appreciate you, Bernie. Thanks very much.
Thanks, Tom. Take care.
Bernie Federko with us on KMOX. What a terrific analyst he is on Bally Sports Midwest. Does those pre and posts with Alexa Dat and Scott Warman. Speaking of pre-games, it is next. It's the Cardinals. It's the Phillies. It's Joe Pott. He has your pregame activity coming up after the noon news. It'll be Dakota Hudson pitching at 1:15 today, and the Cardinals will be taking on the Phillies on a gorgeous day in downtown St. Louis. Thanks for joining us. Tables, still a few available here at Cardinals Nation, but not many. To come in and grab lunch before the game, Cardinals Nation Restaurant and Bar is the spot. Thanks to producer Drew Young, I'm Tom Ackerman on KMOX.
If you have a commercial or industrial flat roof and are in need of repairs, a coating, or a new roof, there's only one company to call. The Flat Roof Company, 314-995-2700. The Flat Roof Company, 314-995-2700.
Can you imagine efficiency and productivity at an all-time high?
Everyone is happier.
And everything is cleaner.
You no longer have to think about all the junk that's in your way.
We're 1-800-GOT-JUNK.
We make junk disappear.
All you have to do is point.
You're incredibly good at what you do.
We're good at what we do, too.
Why not outsource the cleanup to us?
Put us in the game, Coach. Put us in the game.
We're industrial strength magicians.
Call 1-800-GOT-JUNK.
Or visit 1-800-GOT-JUNK.com.
Dr. Colleen Bosler from the Audiology Center.
Have you ever felt like sitting back or giving up at a family gathering because you're tired of working so hard to hear? Have you ever avoided going to an event because you know you won't be able to hear well? Then your hearing loss that you're suffering from is ruining your quality of life. We have seen it firsthand, but I promise you, if you make your hearing a priority, we will make you a priority.
Dr. Bosler, what kind of response are you getting to your new hearing aids?
People are loving these new hearing aids and telling us that they provide a smooth sound, and they're giving a noticeable reduction in that interfering background noise, which allows for them to have more clarity and understanding in those noisier settings. Make an appointment to see us today, and we can help you get